don't give you the money if
I
you're
use
not.
my
They don't give you the money if you're not
yeah.
productive. To
So
be honest.
but I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. But I'm just I ain't gonna lie. I'd
But you
be
can
lying to you
gripe.
if I
You're
told
allowed
you
to
I ain't got a
gripe.
little culture shock. But
That's what's
I
up.
am. That's cool. I ain't tripping.
No, I mean,
It's
I,
it was way
I
worse people
appreciate
in
hearing the
way worse
truth.
situations. Yeah, it's way people in way worse situations. That's many times I go, man, what are you bitching about, dude? You 10 minutes from the house. At any point in time, you can go blow one and come back to the office and be whatever, and you still all good. So
You
it's
only
like,
10
yeah,
minutes
this
from the
is
crib?
10, yeah, 15 tops.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People looking at me like, really, Al? Even when you go in, you're 10 minutes away, really? Or you have some, that's why I'm like, I'm going to be quiet.
I mean, but basically, what you're saying is like God has blessed you. You like some people talk about like I'm blessed and highly favored, but you actually live in that blessed and highly favored life. And whenever your blessings be like just on some like mediocre, sometimes you got to stop and be like, Lord, what did I do? This
What the
blessing
hell,
this
man?
blessing is mediocre, Lord. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. Okay, hear the music.
Oh, I need to be, hold on, let me hit the joint. I need to be taping. I'm not taping.
All
Hold on.
right, you ready?
Let me, one, two, three,
Boom.
go.
Yeah. And they say, yo, what up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's happening with you, bro? We didn't got together for another episode. It's been a little while, man. How have you been?
I've been fantastic, man. On top of the world, lots of changes in the air, and I've just been embracing them. I love summertime a lot. Uh, I like summertime. I get my energy peaks in summer. I've been working on some music shit with some cool cats.
Oh,
Work is
okay.
good. Yeah, yeah, man. I always try to keep my toe firmly dipped up in that tip. I like making music. I like making beats. Um, Work is going well. There's a lot of layoffs, but I made it through all of them, and I always stay hustling. So like, I always keep a couple prospects out there, and who knows what may nibble or what may not. But I'ma say, very rarely is my line not wiggling. That's all I'm saying. Very rarely is it not wiggling. Anyway, how you doing, brother?
I'm okay, man. We were just
Good.
talking about some different things going on for myself from the work front. I've had to be a little bit more client facing, so I've had to kind of be a little bit more on site with it.
Yes.
So I'm not able to kind of stay at home as much as I have been doing for the last maybe about 10 years. So I've had some adjustments that I've had to make, which I ain't gonna lie have not totally been that comfortable. But in the long term, or I should say in the big scheme of things, it's good. It's a wonderful thing. It's not like I'm going a far distance, and I pretty much still have the ability to do what I do. It's just that I have to be a little bit more on site. But I can't complain. I will not complain. We will keep it moving. We're staying busy. And on the other front, then of course, just like you keeping your toe in the music, I'm keeping my pen active. I'm about to write. I got an actor who's out there who's got a new show. I'll keep his name out there until I get everything locked down. But I'm doing an article on him and his new show, and so when that comes out, I'll make sure that I get that on the sites and all that too. So just like yourself, I'm keeping it moving, trying to keep these
I
dreams going,
like,
man.
I
That's
like,
it.
I
That's what we
like,
doing.
Yeah, man. It's like, we getting older, and it's an option. Getting older is one thing, but getting old is a choice. Getting older is you got to get older. That is life. That is what it is. But getting
You know
old
I
is a
love that.
is a choice, man. And yeah, I don't see the point in letting this shit get
I
rusty. We might as well keep on making things and being interesting until we die. I love it, man. I love the evolution of life, man. That's the blessing. What people talk about. I know this ain't on script, but I think about the privilege of aging. The blessing of aging, and a lot of times it ain't really evident to motherfuckers because you get older, your hair get gray, or it falls out. It
right.
falls. It gets gray if you're lucky, and it falls out if you ain't. And
I got a few grays. I got a few grays.
You weird, man. You weird as fuck, bro. You older than me and still not gray yet, and you got all your hair. I don't know what's happening with you, bro. I really don't.
Wait a minute. Okay. Admission. Okay, all right.
All
Admission
right,
here.
keep it real.
We're
Keep it
gonna get
real.
real.
I'm about to
Yes, I
say.
do have a few. However, the realness is, and Treese will laugh at this because it's funny.
Hmm.
I do have a healthy amount of gray in my more intimate
In the ball
spaces.
sack. Yes, yes.
Yeah. I do have that
Yes.
going.
Okay,
I
then.
do. I do. So I did.
Okay.
I said my face is
That's
very
wonderful.
vain and did not want the gray. And if I let this grow out, there's some hair in the beard and gray.
I'm
So
so happy to hear that. I'm so happy
I
to hear
just
that.
conceal it, and now we know all of my wisdom is in my genitalia.
I
Now,
love that. Wise dick. Al Wise dick. Got the wise dick. I like that. That's
you
what's
ready
up.
to get it popping?
Let's do it. Let's talk. Let's talk. This
All right,
podcast.
let's get it. All right. Well, we want to welcome the people that's on Facebook Live. We want to welcome the people that's joining us on the podcast on a weekly basis. And
What's up,
y'all
you
have been getting
heathens?
stronger and stronger to episode 71 of We Come From Bad News. I'm Al Billups. That is my brother Nyaze Vincent. We're going to jump into some wonderful topics. I usually kind of name all the things we're going to do, but you know what? We're just going to jump right on in and go right to the trending topics. The trending topics, we call them the bottom line around these parts. The bottom line is basically it represents the people that reside at the bottom of Hampton Roads, in which we call the bottom. So their opinions, how they feel, everything about them is authentic, and we're going to be in the same vein as we cover these trending topics. Let's go. The bottom line, let's go. Let me say the line right. It's above me now. Man, if you have not seen this video with this hotel worker, they basically had an encounter with a woman. I'm assuming, and again, I'm going to give you all pieces, but you got to go to the thing. But I think that over the phone, maybe she was trying to make some sort of hotel reservation or booking or something like that. Apparently, she had a passing in the family, so she was trying to get a room. And in the process, I guess, of talking with this gentleman, maybe she got frustrated. Maybe she just, felt that it just had to happen.
Or maybe she was just white.
Or maybe she was just racist and whatever it is. But either way, she just decided to call him, just drop the N-bomb all up on him, just bam, on the phone. And then have the nerve to come in and still expect that this same gentleman that she talked to, this young king, to give her that same level of service and quality. He basically said, not today.
Not today.
So as she came in there to try to get it situated, he refused service to her. He continued to videotape the whole situation. She started apologizing to him. And my man was it was beautiful in his response. He was professional. He was courteous. No, ma'am, I will not be taking care of no because you said
you weren't sorry when you called
no,
me.
Man. And she's like, oh, I apologize.
Like, you weren't sorry then. You weren't sorry then.
You weren't sorry. He said, ma'am, you were not sorry then. So you know what? No. And he was just like, it's above me now. I'm done. I was like, listen.
It's of a higher authority
right now. I salute this.
It's of a higher authority, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Now, I heard that he's got some other issues, though, in terms of some stuff he put on his Twitter. But in terms of the situation and this particular situation, this thing that he went through with the hotel, you have my ultimate respect, my brother. You handled that so well.
Salute. You get the full
salute.
I
love everything. I'm going to be...
There's no way that I can imagine that this nigga will keep his job, okay? There's no way this nigga's keep his job. But he should, in a better world, he keeps his job and his boss goes, right on, brother. Actually, I don't know. Social media being what it is and exposing, you know what I'm saying, shit for what it is, he might be okay because he was called a dirty nigga before he clapped on his chick. But yeah, just the excruciatingly wonderful schadenfreude of it all is just great. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, it's just not cool.
Like
it is. I love the way he handled it. Exactly.
What? Are you out of your
dirty.
mind?
She didn't just drop it. It was just like, you dirty. I'm like,
dirty nigga. Like,
she
what?
meant that. It came
like, not fly nigga. You could have said fly nigga. Are you like, oh, you sexy nigga? Like, okay, like the things they say on Black Raw or the porn sites we love. So, I mean, there's a lot of friendly ways to use the N-word. Not that you should ever use them, but she chose just the nastiest one. And I'm just shame on. I'm going to give her a Trump Nasty Award. Trump nasty award on you, woman.
I agree. She was nasty. All right, so that's the bottom line on that. We salute you, bro. Definitely get those tweets down. Anyway, moving along. Apple says goodbye. Apple says goodbye to iTunes. So after quite a while, iTunes is about to go away. It's going to be basically split up into three different services that handle their music, their movies,
That's right.
video, whatever content you got right there. So, what you think about iTunes going away? Were you? I mean, I use just the music app. I just thought it was all kind of linked together. But all right, I mean, I have
Well,
Apple Music, so I'm
well,
not going to miss out on anything.
well. As you know, I am a digital expert because I get paid for my opinions about the internet and applications regarding thereof. Uh, you know this, and now our
In,
audience knows this
indeed.
again because I'm telling you. No, but real talk. Yeah, man. In the software world, iTunes is what we call bloated. It is. It's like when you're in a relationship for a long time, y'all come up with a whole. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come up with shorthand. Y'all live in a house long time. Y'all might keep the barbecue chips with the scotch tape, and you know why you keep it with the scotch tape, but nobody else knows why you keep it with the scotch tape. It don't make no sense, but that's just how your house work. Or the potatoes is always kept next to the potato chips, but because even though that don't really make no sense, but that's just how your house do it. Or in Uno, you got to keep drawing until you get the right color. Whereas
Yeah, that's crazy.
even though the Uno rules say you only have to draw one, I mean whatever. It doesn't matter, but iTunes is like a house where we have lived for so long that none of this shit makes sense. Like it don't make sense why, if I want to watch a movie, I gotta go to the same place that I listen to my music. It doesn't make sense why, if I want to listen to a podcast, I gotta do this drop down. And also, it's ugly. The interface is mad ugly. You look at Spotify and that shit looks sexy and it look like play some music. Fuck me, fuck me. Listen to some music. This shit is dope. It's dark and slick and like engaging. And Apple's trying to get some of that swag because Apple used to have swag, but Apple swag used to be like all white and clean. But like we don't live in a white clean world. Like fuck that white clean shit. Fuck white people. I mean, I'm not really. I love white people, but like the culture is like right now fuck white people. You know what I'm saying? That's what the culture is. That's not how I am. That's
Yeah,
what
I
the
see what
culture
you're
is.
saying.
Right. So that's why everything is going back to like some dark background and uh, you know, anyway,
Kind of like title. I like titles interface.
Title,
Title. I
exactly.
like
Title.
title.
Yeah, everyone wants to be more. Title is the blackest, but Spotify is in the middle, and then iTunes is the whitest, and like the interface looks like a file management system. It looks like some shit you're gonna do some spreadsheets on. Like it ain't a program that you open it up and you go, ooh, I want to fucking rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? You open it up and you go, oh, perhaps I'll listen to some
Yeah.
Schubert and some Sting later on. You know what I mean? Like it's not hot. So they're trying to make it hot, and I applaud that. Some of the more interesting shit is going on actually with iPad. They're trying to make that its own separate platform and separate iOS platform. So it's gonna have mouse interaction. You're gonna be able to like do more shit on your iPad, make it more like a computer. They want to make it more competitive with a PC. That's gonna be dope. And they're making a new iMac, which is super dope. Like it's gonna be like $6,000. It's gonna be able to do any goddamn thing, and it's like built like with natural crystalline formations and shit. I mean, some crazy Apple shit. I mean, it's dope. Everyone's buying one. What are we talking about? We're gonna buy it because it's Apple and it's awesome, and this is what they do.
Yeah, I'm an Apple guy. They've had me for many years, so
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. Because to me, I was just like, all right, this doesn't really change my life that much because again, I've already got Apple Music. I don't think I do Apple TV. I got all my other streaming
it's
stuff,
gonna be
but
three
you know,
iTunes. It's gonna be three iTunes, but each one is only gonna play one particular media format.
that's fine.
TV, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, whatever.
I'm gonna buy an iPhone, and I have an iPhone. I'm gonna buy another one at some point in time. Everything will already be there. I'll click it and
Precisely,
I'll enjoy.
precisely.
So that's how we're gonna rock. All right,
Yay!
let's give a little bit of attention to at least one specific tragedy that does impact the area that we came from that happened over the weekend. The Virginia Beach shooting happened. I think that a gentleman that actually happened to be from who actually graduated from Denby High, which is the same high
Fuck
school
out
we
of here.
went
You for
to.
real?
Um,
How you know that?
yeah,
That
he
was in
did.
the news. They said that was in the newspaper. Damn.
He was in the paper. Yeah, he
Fuck.
graduated, I think, in like '96. So yeah, I was already gone. I graduated in '93, but apparently, he had some issues and decided to go ahead and take, I think, of about 11
Wait, wait,
lives and a
wait.
lot
The
of
way you
people.
talking about this dude, it sound like a black dude. Is this a black dude?
It is.
Shit! Fuck!
Yeah.
Fuck, bro!
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
bro!
It was a brother. Yeah, it was very. I mean, it's disappointing for
That's
any person,
super.
but it was
Yeah, but
super
and I
disappointing
had a
when it's
feeling.
when it's one
I
of
had an
us, because it's
itch.
just like, yeah,
We need
terrible.
the bad press. Like we need the press. Like we need that kind of ink. But you know what I noticed? They didn't say shit about his race. I noticed that. Not a picture.
Yeah,
Nothing about
I
his
did
race.
notice that, but in a way, I was glad that they downplayed, because I mean,
Well,
sometimes I
yeah,
feel
of
like they just
course.
give too much energy to these people in terms of that. That's why,
One
when we were
thou,
talking
one
about
thou
Shannon, I
wow,
was
one
just
thou
like, this
wow.
is going to get about 2.5 minutes, and we're going to move along, because I'm not giving that much energy to evil.
One thou wow.
However, it
Exactly.
was highly disappointing to
Well, we're not
see
speaking his
that, and,
name.
and I feel
We're not
bad for
speaking
that.
his name. So we're not giving his name energy. And that's what I think is the most important. We're not giving his name energy, but I do think
Absolutely.
it's important to recognize, just like, on GP, like, you know, uh again, y'all and y'all guns, man. Y'all, when are these how does this make you feel safe? How does these gun shit make you feel safe?
I
I
know
mean,
I,
like,
I know I don't.
like, look, if I gotta get one to protect myself from y'all crazy motherfuckers, I get one. But like, I ain't gonna feel safe. It's because I don't feel safe. I get the gun because I don't feel safe, and I feel like everyone's got one. And like, what the fuck? How else can you survive? But that's not how you feel safe. And I don't. I just like, at some point we all got to make a decision whether we want to feel safe or whether we want to feel like we can kill a motherfucker. Whether we want to be Avengers or protectors, like that shit in Captain Marvel. First, Nick Fury said protectors, and then he changed it to Avengers because Avengers clean up the mess after a motherfucker's already dead. I'm just saying. I'm tired of this avenging shit. We need to start preventing some shit, man.
I couldn't agree with you
God
more. I,
damn it, a
I, I don't
black
even
dude?
have
This
anything
don't
to
even make no
add.
sense. This is not even what we do. We reject him. The black delegation rejects this motherfucker. This is not what we do. This is not what black people do. We kill people for reasons. We kill people for goddamn reasons. This don't make no sense. I hate this. I hate
No, it
this.
doesn't. It
I
doesn't.
hate this.
Yeah, that's how you feel. I knew you would kind of feel the same way I
Mm,
felt about it. So
mm,
we've kind of set our piece on it from the other side of the coin,
mm.
for the people that are impacted and the people within the whole area. I send nothing but good energy, and healing your
Whew.
way. And I, as I said in the post on the Facebook page, get home safe, Virginia.
Get home safe.
So
Yo,
I'm gonna leave that there.
real talk.
All the best to Virginia Beach and anybody who's been impacted. That's all I got on that. All right, moving along to our main topic, sir. We're going to talk about that movie, Ava, say her last name so I don't mess it up.
DuVernay.
DuVernay, okay,
Yes, yes.
has the new movie that came out on Netflix, When They See Us, which basically documents the, in my opinion, tragic events that happened to the children involved in what was called the Central Park Five. If anybody is not familiar with it, I'll just give a quick overview. It's not that hard to follow. Basically, there were a group of kids, multiple kids that were in a park at nighttime, somewhere I think in Harlem, just out doing what kids do, running around, whatever. Some of these kids were being rowdy and causing trouble and such like that. At that same time that they were all in the park, there was a white woman, jogging in the park that was attacked, basically hit with a pipe and also raped, and pretty much left for dead. Um, the police decided to go through the park that night, and hey, I've got a whole bunch of people running around in the park that look like suspects, who were not even on the same side of the park as this particular incident happening. So anyway, they just decided to basically pluck about 5 kids out of there. Well, actually more than 5, but 5 ended up basically being charged, taking these minors to the police station, interrogating them and forcing them to make statements, and eventually, long story short, and I'm going to get into some other things here, they were convicted, went to jail. Eventually, yes, years later, they were exonerated, but I think they all served between 6 to 13 years in jail for a crime that they didn't come anywhere near to committing. So just let's stop right there. 6 to 13 years
That's a
of
lifetime.
these
That's a
young men's
lifetime.
lives
It's a lifetime.
that gone.
Gone.
And even then, let's not talk about the stigma that they were left with and still are left with to a degree, because no matter what some people say or whatever, they still gonna feel like that scarlet letter's on them, and no matter what, they're looked at as rapists. Let's talk about the psychological damage, the mental, the spiritual, and that movie was powerful. I mean, she showed not only what happened in terms of how they got there and the events that led up to it and the trial, but she showed how each particular child went through their own psychological hell.
Yeah.
Basically, all of them had a story, and no one's story was left out. I mean, literally, she put a perspective on everyone. It wasn't like, you just got a little bit. I mean, it went deep into each person's journey. It was a very powerful movie. I mean, if it would stir just if it doesn't stir any emotions in you as a human being, especially as a person of color, but just a human being, then you're not alive. I mean, it's crazy.
You got well. First, yeah. First, definitely giving honor and praise to the living goddess Ava DuVernay, scion of Her Majesty Queen
My
Oprah.
God, she did an amazing job.
If you haven't seen the 13th, uh, her documentary about the 13th Amendment, that shit is crazy. Every but Ava, I gotta say this. First of all, leave it to a black woman to save black men from themselves. Once again, uh, take from that
Absolutely.
what you will. But also, I have not seen the film. I mean, I have not seen the series yet, and I joined a small but solid contingent of black people who support this work and believe it must necessarily exist and that it's beneficial to the world. But my serotonin levels and the way that my chakras is aligned and shit, I got to do a lot of fucking personal work before I can expose myself to that, because my own personal experience, and I know you're going to get into this as well, but my own personal experiences are so close, not even analogous, so identical to these experiences. Obviously this is the worst case scenario, but this is the dread that niggas like us grew up our whole lives, you know, wondering and thinking about. Like I never dated no white girls. I mean, like, my whole life. I'm 42 years
You,
old, and
you're segue. You're
I didn't grow.
segueing right into
I
what
didn't
I've
grow up.
got to say.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in the goddamn 60s and 70s and shit. Nobody was gonna lynch me theoretically, but still, somehow the message got to me in the South, and or I don't know. I'm fuck it. Everyone can fuck whoever they want. I don't care. I want anybody to think I'm carrying that around. You know, have make love to whoever you want to make love with. But I'm saying, me personally, me myself, and I did not feel politically. I didn't feel like uh, uh, I didn't feel defensible. I didn't feel safe where I grew up to have a non-black girlfriend or somebody that didn't look like me as a sexual partner. Anyway, get into it, bro. Tell me what you think about.
No, I'm with you. No, I totally understand. Well, I mean, I had lived in the suburbs, I think, of Denby for a hot minute in terms of that, and one of the reasons why this story resonated a bit with me, because I had a similar incident. Now, just to be super duper 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 clear, my situation did not go anywhere nearly as deep. There was no newspapers, there was no jail time,
Right.
there was no, no being caged up, there was no media. So just to keep it in perspective, I just don't want people to think that I'm comparing, my situation in
No,
any
of course
way.
not. Of course not. Of
In
course. We're
terms of
not trying to
to the
minimize in
severity
any way.
levels of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I just wanted to be clear. But I had a similar situation. I was about, I want to say 13, I think 13, 14 years old. I want to lean towards 14 years old, just running around, in the summertime, just trying to do things. But around that time period, I did, I liked anything that liked me, but I will admit at that point, I did have a little bit of a taste for the little young white girls at that point in time. I just, that's just what I was on. Now,
What
mind
age
you,
was this?
I was about 14.
Oh,
I
this
was
is
about
before me. This is before you met me.
Yes, it was way before me and you. Maybe a year or two before, a couple years before you and
All
I
right.
met. Because I was just about. It was a summer right.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I was. Let me give you the game. Yeah, and again, I liked whatever liked me, but at that time, that's what was throwing me some love. So I just be to be clear, I wasn't throwing shade nowhere. It was just that that's what was giving me love,
Can't
and
be
hey,
mad.
I was loving it back. You
Hey.
know, I was trying to get in where I fit in. But anyway, I had, I had a couple, different friends or whatever, and it was all good. Never had a problem. So one time during the summer, they decided to have, I guess, what was called a little bit of a day party of sorts. Where we just kind of get together, kick it, whatever. So it was just two white chicks. And his brother's house. I didn't know this brother. His parents looked like they made some decent money, lived in a nice house. I didn't know him, but he knew them, and so it was at his house. So
Mm.
I want to set the stage for that because for what I'm going to say. So I didn't know this brother, but they invited me over. So it was me, him, and these two chicks, and we weren't doing anything. It wasn't any alcohol involved, or anything like that. It was just we just all sitting around, just having fun, just talking, kicking it, whatever. And there was one specific girl, who I was trying to get with at the time.
Mm.
So I'm making my moves. Nothing, that was over the top, anything like that. So we were all started playing around for some reason. We started wrestling, like all of us, just wrestling
Wrestling.
around, just
Okay.
playing, whatever. And
14-years-olds
yeah,
wrestling,
yeah, we
as
like
we do.
wrestling, playing, whatever.
I can dig it.
Wrestling, playing, right? Everything was all good. And I think in the course of wrestling or whatever, I rolled over on her or whatever, and then I think I was just playing with her in terms of just whatever, and she was just like, okay, let me up, and I let her up or whatever.
Yep.
But then something happened, and this is exactly I'm just and even then I was just shocked or whatever. She goes over to the black dude or whatever
Mm.
and just starts whispering to him or something, like talking to him or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the black guy looks at me and goes, "Oh my God, what did you do?" And I said,
The fuck I do.
What are you talking about?" And he was just like, "Oh my God, were you over here trying to take advantage of her?" And I looked at him like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like,
What?
nah, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, no, hold on, it gets crazier. Then all of a sudden, she starts tearing up, like crying to Muslim. I just can't believe you did that. And I'm looking at both of them like, what did I do? Because I'm sitting back going, I know I had her pinned down for a hot second, but I didn't I let her up, and I wasn't trying to, I had no, my clothes were fully on, her clothes fully on, nothing was erect. It was nothing like that. And I'm like, I thought we was just wrestling around. I was like, and I even right then, I was like, oh, I said, if I
It's
was
like I'd
being
have
too
had
rough
more
or
fun.
whatever.
I'd have had more fun if I'd have really been trying to do something. God damn, I didn't have no
Right,
fun. I
because
didn't do
that's
nothing even
because I
happen.
mean, I'm like even in that moment, little young Al, I'm checking myself like, oh, okay, what did I do? And so all of a sudden, he picks up the phone.
Okay.
And he was just like, "I'm gonna call the police." And I'm even then, I'm still looking at him like, "All right, is this a joke?" Because I'm waiting for everybody to just start laughing at him. I'm like, "Is this a joke? What's going on?" All of a sudden, he starts going, and he knew my name because, of course, we had all been talking, whatever. He goes, "This guy's over here and tried to rape this girl." Or whatever. His name is Algernon Billups, blah, 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 whatever. And then I think I ran over to him. I started listening to the phone. I was like, you ain't on the phone with no phone. Are you curious right now?
Oh my god.
Yeah. I actually hear a 911 operator, and he just starts talking like, yeah, that's my house or whatever. And now mind you, he's telling her that I'm trying to do something. I'm standing right there fully dressed as she is. We all in the same room. I'm looking around like, what is going on? And
This is
so
a black
I
dude?
said, okay, you know what?
This a black dude?
Black dudes, two white girls.
Wow.
So
But she
right at
told a
that
black but
moment,
she told a black dude, and the black dude is the one on the phone with the wow.
exactly. This is jokes and chills or whatever. But all of a sudden, it sinks into me. This dude's really calling the police on me right now. So I just, and this to show you how old I am. I leave the house. I get on my bike. That's what I was 14. What you want me to do? I was walking anyway. I
You
got
got on
on
the
my
bike, got on
bike,
the whip.
and I just rolled out, and I went home.
Goddamn right I did.
As I'm rounding the corner to my house was maybe, say, 10, 15 minutes away, something like that, whatever. As I'm rounding the corner to my house,
This the house you was in
woo,
when I met you?
on Pocahontas Drive. As
Got it.
I'm rounding over there by Pocahontas Drive,
Yep.
whoop, rolls up on me. Hey, your name Al? I was like,
What if it
yeah.
is? What if
He
it is?
pulls out a picture with me. So he had one of my, she had one of my school, because I'm trying to tell you, I was trying to highlight it. She had a school photo, he had a photo in his hand, my picture. And I said, okay, this shit's got real. And so he was just like, come here. And so I did what I was told, and automatically, whatever, he was like, your name's Al Billups? I was like, yeah. And then he gets on the radio and goes, okay, I got him, or whatever. And this is super real to me. This is around the corner from my house. So he, takes my bike, drives me up to my house or whatever. My parents were at work because they was out working or whatever at the time. It was the
Right.
day party, so it was during the day
Right.
of the summer. So they weren't at home. So I drive my bike off at the fence. He takes me in. Okay, the Newport, the library that we used to pass all the time when we used to walk in the back of Denby High, that police station right there, that's exactly where they took me that
My
time. Took me
nigga.
in there. I'm in there. Yeah, it took me. I'm 14 years old,
14.
whatever. Yeah, they put me in this cold ass room. Okay. And I'm just for like an hour or two. I'm just sitting there. Nobody told me nothing. Nobody talked to me, nothing or whatever. And then finally someone comes in and says, okay, what happened? I told them what happened. Like, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything like that. And after about 2 to 3 hours, the
Two to
other
three
girl
hours.
who was there, so I told you, yeah, 2 to 3 hours. The other girl that was there told the police the truth. She said, nothing like that happened at all. She said, we were playing around. For whatever reason, she got upset and then just started doing it. Al did not do that. That's not what happened. And of course, they looking at her like, lady, you ain't been penetrated. You ain't got nothing. Like, you could just tell something wasn't quite right. And so I say all that to say,
Why that bitch? What?
if
No,
it
wait.
wasn't for,
But why that
go
bitch?
ahead.
Why she hate you? Why did she? Why was she
Uh,
really
to this day,
crazy?
to this day, bro, I kid you not, I have no idea what the
Oh
hell
my
happened
fucking
to this
god!
exact day. If it was not, here's the point. If it was not for that girl, don't get me wrong, there was nothing there. I mean, I think eventually if I got an attorney, I still would have probably been cleared, but that ain't the point. The
That is
point is,
not the
though,
point,
yeah, the point is, if it was not for that girl
right?
actually telling the truth, it was going to be another situation. Because I sat in that room for 2 to 3 hours wondering what the hell was going to happen to me, if I was going to be somewhere else. I'm wondering what the hell my mama going to think. Like, she's looking at me like, what are you doing? Yeah, I mean, there was, and I'm a young 14-year-old dude just sitting there like, wow. So when I saw that movie and I saw how they had them in that room and they was doing all of that, and shit brought, again, I'm not saying that the severity of this situation was definitely a lot more than mine, but still, just that sense of isolation, that sense of hopelessness, that sense of somebody accusing you of something that you had nothing to do with. And the ultimate thing a man could be accused of, other than murder, rape. I mean,
Rape
that's
is
just,
worse than murder.
man, that's beyond that.
Rape is worse than
Yeah, I mean,
murder.
all of it, all of it's bad. My thing is taking
No,
a
no, but
life.
seriously though, people will forgive you quicker for killing somebody. People
it's
will,
just all bad.
yeah, no, it's all bad, but people will forgive you for taking someone's life quicker than raping them. Just real talk. Rape is a
I,
because if you think about it, if you kill somebody, their suffering is over. I mean, you took their life, but they don't suffer after that. But if you rape somebody, their whole life is traumatized.
yeah, you've taken their
It's a
humanity.
life
You've taken
sentence.
everything.
It's a
And yeah,
life
it is.
sentence.
And it's nothing they can escape because they're
Yeah,
living. I agree.
it's
I see
worse.
your
It's
point on
worse.
that. So if it wasn't for that girl coming through in that time and doing that way, and so after she did that, I was able to leave.
Mm.
But then I had to deal with the trauma at the house because my mom looking at me like, "What the hell you doing?" My father,
Oh
of
my
course, is an
God,
asshole, so he was almost like, "Now you around here
abusive
raping people."
ass
I was like,
father.
I looked at him like, okay, there was a lot of things I was as a kid, and now and then I might have not have been that truthful.
And we
Hey,
in
you
the
know what? I
goddamn
might,
South. I'm a black
yeah,
man in the South and a
I might
white
have I
girl.
might have done some crazy things. There's one thing that I have never did and won't do. I would never take
Never,
some woman like that, and I would never do
never.
something like that. So him even saying that to me pissed me off. To this day,
Painful.
I still remember that he said that to me, and it irritates me because I go, really, really, you really, you would really call me that? I still haven't forgiven him that. So anyway,
You know what that
my
is
point
though?
is though,
That's displaced concern for you. That was his negative way of showing his love.
but you don't put that R word. You don't say that R word to your seed without, you know what I'm saying? You
Well,
just
no,
don't do that.
I've
You
had
don't.
no, I only say that through years of self-reflection, therapy, and acknowledgement and forgiveness. Now that I can understand that our parents were abusive because they were not given life skills. This country did not give black people positive life coping skills. They only gave them negative coping life skills. So the only ways that we could negotiate life was through anger, aggression, depression, alcoholism, drugs. Like that's why actually when I listened to you about how you were treated with this white woman, I firmly believe if that white girl hadn't said something about you, that you would either be dead or in the prison industrial complex system.
Could have
Um,
changed the
I
whole
think that would have changed the whole
trajectory of
trajectory.
my
Yeah, I
life,
think that would
bro.
I think that would have deep dented the whole thing up because that's the whole reason why I've always looked at myself as a cowardly nigga. Like I've always been a super paper sack brown nigga. Like raised like by my daddy and my mama, like to never ever do anything. Don't even come close to ever even getting close to the hedge. Don't even come close to getting close to getting close. Like
Yeah.
that's why I've never even dated a white woman. Not because I have
And I'm not gonna
not
lie to
because
you.
I have not
I
met
was
beautiful
scared.
ones. Not because I have not met
Yeah.
beautiful white women. Not because I have not been attracted, met some intelligent, interesting, dynamic, complicated, sophisticated
Scared, bro. You
ass white
scared. Ain't nothing
women.
wrong with that.
Okay? But I have not dated them because in my heart of heart,
Yeah.
in my most sincere of sincerities, I've always felt like that's a death sentence. Why would I do that to myself? Why would I do that to myself
Yeah,
and put myself at
and it's
risk like that?
crazy because it's like even in and I can say I never
You can't even
actually
you
did
can't
that.
travel the whole country like that. Like you could live
Yeah.
in California, New York, and Atlanta. All right, there you good. You good there. And a couple and if you broke and if look, no, and look, and I've been back to the South, and if you broke, you could date a broke ass white woman. You could do that. But if you get a nice white woman, oh, you can't do that. They don't like that shit. They'll come get you. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking shit.
Nah, nah,
I'm talking shit. The country's come a
you
long
not,
way.
yeah, bro.
Love is love. Look, it's
It
weird because
is,
no,
it
it's
is.
weird. It's weird because on one hand we have come so far, right? Like I go back to Virginia, North Carolina, and it's like mad interracial love, mad swirl, right? But on the other hand,
Absolutely.
the polarization of it has gotten even stronger because the ones that are against that, the KKK, the neo Nazis, the hate, just the ambient haters, not even the labeled haters, just the motherfuckers who just be like, who just have 6 beers and be like, let's just go stomp on some motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Them white boys, they out there too, and it's like they all out there at the same time. So it's like the love and the hate is all more intense than it's ever been, and
Yeah,
that's
you're
what's
not wrong.
complicated.
You're
That's
not
what's
wrong
complicated.
at
Yeah.
all. But it was a heavy experience. So the movie definitely kind of brought back some of those memories. And last portion of that or whatever, I never saw the girl who did that again. I
Mm.
never saw because I went to high school, and I'm assuming they went to different high school, did whatever. However, the girl who exonerated me I did end up going to high school with her for 4 years,
Oh yeah.
and she kind of stayed out my zone. I mean, but the one thing here, and I'll say this, and I won't say her name or anything like this. I remember her first name, I just don't remember her last name, but I know her face forever.
We'll
It
call
was
her Becky.
graduation. You know what, we will call her that.
Hmm.
It was graduation. She did come up to me and said, "Listen, I'm really sorry that happened,
Wow.
and I hope you're okay." And at the time, I was young. I was only like 18. I didn't say anything crazy to her. All I did was I just kind of looked at her like, "All right, thank you," and I just kind of walked away. Because I could even as and now looking back, 44-year-old Al, she was looking for some level of maybe some closure, some peace or whatever. But I wasn't ready to receive it at that point because I still was angry.
It wasn't
Even
your
years later.
responsibility to give. It wasn't your responsibility to
Yeah,
give her closure
but
either.
44-year-old Al, I would have at minimum given her a hug, and said, you know what, because what honestly, I do appreciate her when the moment came. She told the truth, and if it was not for that truth, my life could have taken a different route.
Real talk.
So for that, 44-year out was like to say to that particular person that did do that. If you ever do listen to this cast or see this Facebook or whatever, I do accept that. I appreciate you. And at the time, I wasn't ready to receive it, but I thank you for that.
Yeah,
So there
man.
you go.
Man, that's deep. That's some ally shit. That's some real ally shit. If you're a white person out there, recognize you're a white 24/7. Recognize that you have white. No, serious. Recognize that you have white privilege, and recognize
Yeah,
that
absolutely. Yeah.
recognize that you can utilize your white privilege for the benefit of those who do not have it. And that's it.
Absolutely.
If you
That
want to do the moral thing, if you want to be a moral white person, you can be a moral white person. Here's how to be a moral white. Maybe I'll put that in the show notes just so you guys to be clear. How to be a moral white person. If you want to be a moral white person, then use your white privilege to benefit those who do not have white privilege.
absolutely.
That's it.
Because I appreciated that coming out. Now I ain't gonna lie, just last note before we slide into this, she's gotta have it. After that, that did kind of scare me off of any interactions with white women.
Goddamn
I ain't
right.
gonna lie to you.
Goddamn right.
I was absolutely afraid
Goddamn right.
to have anything more than a handshake. I was like,
Goddamn
hey,
right.
what's up? They'd be like, hey, you want to come hang out? I was like, no, I'm good.
I
Thank
ain't
you.
crazy.
It did push me over to my sisters, and
Do
I
I
just
look
never came back.
suicidal?
However, I love everybody.
I love everybody too. I just want to say this very briefly. The one white girlfriend I had for 2 seconds. She came down to visit me, downtown Newport News.
Except for 2 seconds.
2 seconds. I was like 8 years old, maybe 8, 9 years old.
Okay.
She's my god sister, but we were like before we were god sisters, but we like before we lived together. When we lived together,
You was trying to make it happen.
not I wasn't really. She was trying to make it happen. She was very very obsessed with me. She came down, but we was like cutesy boyfriend girlfriend, but super young, right? But she came down to visit me, and I was downtown, niggerdom, right? I mean, like this 1984, 83, 84.
Oh yeah, it was real
Aqua
black.
Vista. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Praise Jesus. Some of y'all do not. Okay. I'm talking about crack cocaine everywhere.
Yeah, it was heavy back then, brother. The black struggle was in full effect for real.
Listen, it was the
all the
message in
drugs to
full
match.
effect. Yeah, message in full effect. So she came, that cute little 6-year-old white girl. And I don't know, her parents was so liberal. Oh my God. Brought her down there and we went out to play in the park.
Just a little.
Listen, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Praise Jesus for the good white people. And we went out to the park, and I remember the black girls who lived in the neighborhood. She said, "This Vincent, my given name, is my boyfriend." And then black girls looked at me and said, "No, he isn't." And as soon as they said it like that, I was like, "No, she is not. She is not. I don't know what she is talking about. I am so sorry. She has lost her mind. She does not know what she's." I was so ashamed. The way she said that, I was like, "That is not a thing that can happen." I mean, I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm being very vulnerable. Don't judge me. Don't look at me crazy, white people. I'm just being honest with you. I'm a victim. I'm a victim of this shit, man. But yes, they looked at me like that. I was like, okay, well, that's not the right way to be. I'm never going to do that again. Sisters, I will never embarrass you by bringing another white woman around here again.
Listen. Last thing, then we got to go. I messed around and took a person who asked me to go to a military ball. And I tell everybody to this day, she was Latina, but in pictures, she looked like super white. That's just what it is. So now again, this was not my
They're
girlfriend.
not mutually exclusive.
This was not someone I had any type of physical relationship with. She was just someone that just said, "Hey, if my man is tripping, can you take me to the military ball?"
Hey.
I took her. We took some pictures,
Fair
and
enough.
those pictures got me just destroyed in every way. Because of me, I'm walking around, I'm showing people, "Hey, this picture." All I heard was, "You put that white chick to the..." I was like, "Oh, y'all are killing me." I'm looking around like, "This ain't my girl. This is just somebody I took." They still gave you that look. It's always that disappointed look, like, I thought you were one of the good ones. I was like, I'm one of the good.
I think I remember this.
I took that picture to New York. I was showing like my cousins and aunts up there. I got destroyed. I was like, "Oh, this was a bad idea." The only thing that I think saved me is I had pictures of other people I took, and all of them were black. So they were just like, but yeah, I got destroyed.
No, it's
just
funny,
on a picture.
man.
Just on a picture.
Okay, I'm sorry to extend this thing because we're talking about something very important to the culture. This is super important, but this is super important to the culture. It's like, it is funny in our even in black circles. Like if you ain't shit, if you ain't shit nigga, then like date whoever you want. You could date the fat white girl. You could like have all it. Don't even make a difference. It's like, do whatever you want to do, peanut. Okay, right? Junebug. We don't give a fuck what
But
you
if you
do.
look like you got some
But
range, or you
hey,
halfway
listen,
decent, or you got
bro,
something about yourself, they just
bro.
look at you like a disappointment. Like,
Oh
bro,
my
you had so
God.
much potential.
You not gonna have black babies? You not gonna pass your black kingdom? Your black kingdom on to some black baby? Oh my God, Jesus, the guilt. The guilt.
Oh, we are. The sickness is
We ain't
so
talking
real
about some
within our
truth. We talking
culture.
about some truth.
All right,
It's a sickness and the blessing. The blessing and the curse. It's the
it
blessing and the
is, but
curse. Cause
that's okay. But that's what happened with that. So be safe out there, people. Anyway, all right. Season 2 of She's Gotta Have It. This I know you've seen because you definitely commented it on your Facebook. Commented it. Wow, you know it's getting late. You definitely spoke about it on your page. It's getting late. And I definitely want to talk about kind of the direction they went into. The last time we saw Nola, she was kind of still bouncing in between the three stooges, or her three suitors, we should call them. She still was kind of doing some of the same things that the original Nola did in terms of the movie that came out. But this one, they kind of switched it up a little bit on us. It wasn't
they
just
did.
about her love
They
triangle. It
did.
definitely went a lot deeper into her journey and her exploration into finding more about her, which I must admit was a welcome twist. But I'll let you kick this one off, sir. What were your thoughts about season 2, man?
Um, big headline, hot take. Spike Lee invents cinematic universe. Okay, because if people didn't catch it, okay. First of all, spoiler alerts ahead from here on out.
Yeah, and I know what you're going to talk about.
In case
When I watched it, I said, I know what he's saying when he said universe. Now I understand it because I kept going, how the hell did they do that? But go ahead.
Mookie, Mookie, the
I
son of
love seeing him.
Mookie.
Mookie, the son of
The
Mookie. Yeah, I
son
thought
of
that was interesting.
Mookie is Mars Blackman, is the most genius retcon. Um, bringing back fucking what's her name, Latina goddess Rosie.
Oh, Rosie Perez. Rosie
Bringing back
Perez.
Rosie Perez to reprise her role as Mookie's hot and cold spouse slash baby mama, whatever the fuck, in Do the Right Thing. Just a brilliant callback, and it just explain, but back to the original point. So first of all, that was my whole point about Spike Lee invents a cinematic universe where he confirms the existence that these characters are all in his Brooklyn, his version of this magical
Yeah, yeah.
place, you know, his magical version of Afro Latin New York. It's wonderful. I want to live there. I want to be there. I want to be in this place. I want to drink what they drink, smoke what they smoke, fuck what they fuck. God, what a place. Okay. That being said,
It is interesting.
it is. That being said, it also means what you said as well, in that we've left behind the limitations of the original opus. She's Gotta Have It, which was flawed for many reasons. The work of a neophyte, a filmmaker with genius level aspirations, but still getting a hold of his craft and his language and his narrative and shit. And also, time hadn't caught up, and now he's revisiting, and whoever these directors are and whatever. I don't think Spike's doing all this by himself. Now we're revisiting this character of Nola and divesting her of this weird, complicated, and rape tinged story from the original story. We've shed that shit with season 1, and now we're venturing further into what does it mean, which was always the most interesting thing about Nola, darling, not the sex shit. The most interesting thing was,
Right.
who is this as an artist? What is this journey of this black artist today, living in our
Yeah.
time and like experiencing? And that's what they
Yeah.
gave
Yeah.
me, man. They gave me this woman. It doesn't matter if she's a woman, a man, whatever. It doesn't matter. She's an artist, and she's experiencing the black experience. Yeah, whatever. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm sorry, it's a podcast.
Oh no, no,
Y'all,
I'm with you.
I'm looking at you,
I'm
but
with you.
the audience is thinking right now, no, nigga, tell me what you were thinking because this is a podcast. But yes, or not. Maybe they want to hear from you. You jump in, and maybe it'll
No,
spark some
no,
more
no.
coherence.
I'm on the same page as you. Because remember when I think I sent you a text and I was like, I started watching it, but it hasn't caught me, quickly is what. But you were like, nah, hang in there.
Keep watching, yeah.
Yeah, it because each episode, as they started getting further and further away from the original premise of her just kind of go. Because I said to my, because I'm not gonna lie, I had no real desire to look at her go back and forth with these
No,
three
no,
for a full season.
no.
So I was happy that they took her to Puerto Rico, that they took her to the, I think, Martha's Vineyard.
Mm.
Uh, I was happy they took her out of Brooklyn and took her
Yes.
journey out to the and expanded her
And
universe as an artist.
show the
I
range
was
of black people, the
yeah,
diaspora. Like they showed black Puerto Rico. They showed
yeah.
black whatever that place was, Martha's Vineyard. Like where they showed the history of black people who had worked for white people and gotten their wealth and shit. And they was referencing all that shit, Jack and Jill. And yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, but go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yes. All
No,
of
no,
that.
no.
Yes,
That's it. No,
all
bro.
of
No,
that.
no. We're on the same page with this, and
Triumph.
this was good. I loved all of her expressions. I loved how they built up to her solo show.
Yes.
Because like if you really paid attention, they gave you, with the exception, of course, the most, the biggest piece. They kept that a secret. But all of the other pieces within her solo show, they showed you different aspects of what she was doing as she was creating those, like at different
Joaquin.
points in time.
Oh, I'm shouting out somebody on our
Uh,
live cast.
it's
What's
like,
up, bro? What's up, Joaquin?
oh, what's up, people? Sometimes we get to rolling, I stop, I forget, and we do have an audience. In terms of that, we're just kind of going. But no, I love the pieces that she was creating because there was different parts within the story at times where you were kind of wondering if she was actually creating something or if she was just kind of like figuring it out. But as it was interesting to watch her figure it out through different methods, like the dance, in
Yeah.
terms of how she was moving her body.
Yes.
I like how they kept referring to her as Ocean's daughter. You know,
Woo!
it
Yo,
was
that
beautiful.
scene, that scene with a chick, with a woman, chick, I shouldn't say that, the chica. Where she's like, the woman is walking with the gold, and she's like, and she's the very essence of not was it not Yemen? Oshun. It was Oshun, right? And it was like oh my God. I mean the way she was walking away, like that saying, I hate to say goodbye, but I'd love to see you walk away. Boom. She was like, boom. And it was like not
Beautiful.
lascivious or carnal in a way. I mean, definitely any you want to fuck, but like you looking at it and it's like it's also majestic. Everything
It was a
about it was
queen,
majestic,
queen. All I said was
queenly.
queen,
Oh my
queen.
God, man. It was so beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah, yeah.
I was I was very interested and fascinated by the lesbian love affair in the beginning. Obviously Nola must be bisexual or whatever, but like when she's with the woman, but like the woman, no, what's her name? What's her
Opal,
name? Opal,
opal,
Opal.
opal,
But Opal,
OPAL.
but like Opal turns into like the dominant one and is like trying to control Nolan. It's like I thought that was the dopest flip because it's always the man portrayed as being controlling or whatever. But it's like you start to realize these dynamics transcend gender, and it's just like
Gender. Yeah.
people just do this. You know what I'm saying? This is what people do. It's not toxic masculinity. It's toxic peoplelinity or whatever. You know what I mean? That's a word I just made up, y'all. Y'all welcome. But yeah, man. Overall,
Get it
I
in.
just felt like I've just never seen this. I like this shit better than the first season. Like this is what I want.
I agree. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it
this is
way
way
better than the
better.
first
Way
season. I
better.
did
Way
because the
better.
first season was
Way
so
better.
irritating, and I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw the first episode or two, I was just like, I cannot deal with this immature Nola for 5 or 6 or 7 more episodes. I was just like, 'cause I was about ready to hit the
I
checkout
mean,
button,
but
but I
she stayed immature.
love
But she stayed immature. The thing is, in this instance, also what I felt like, what you may be responding to, and what I responded to was that they gave some energy to the male characters' stories too. They didn't just treat Mars like, like a girl toy, like he was just there to be manipulated or just to be a part of her story, whatever. You got to get some backstory and like see his arc and like see him become more of a man and take his responsibilities and handle his business and shit. And that's dope. And then also they even checked in with Greer, and Greer is like dating bad bitch. God damn, she looked like
yeah, she was
she looked
beautiful,
like
beautiful. She
Kanye's
like Amber
girlfriend.
Rose.
She Amber.
Amber, yeah,
My
Amber, yeah,
nigga.
that's what she
Thank
looked
you.
like.
That's why you my
I
nigga.
think that was by design.
That was
She
by
did look
design,
like
right?
Amber.
Because for a minute
I
I was
think
like, is that Amber Rose? But I was like, but she's not. She wasn't like curvy like Amber Rose. She was more like built. You know what I'm saying? She was like Amber Rose if she was mixed with Grace Jones. But she was still hot.
I agree.
But she was still fly. But she was still fly.
Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But
beautiful.
anyway, we talking a lot, but still there's a lot to talk about. But then and then so they checked in with Greer and he was happy and he was like doing his thing. And then the other dude, who was the other dude? Jamie.
The other guy,
Jamie.
Overstreet is Jamie. Jamie Overstreet.
They checked in with him. They treated him like a human being. Like, you know, they kept it real. Like, yeah, his family he was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? His marriage was getting broken up and shit. And it was like, I just thought it kept it very real. Like, I was like, these are all the real outcomes you wanted to see from the actual movie. And like, this is how it would have to be if it was in real life. And I think they delivered on all of it. I think it was.
I agree.
Yeah, man.
I agree. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off at all. I'm literally just getting another drink. Go ahead.
Okay. I actually, and this is kind of where I'm at with it. It was actually so well done, and I think that, and it was, and I guess what I want to say is that Spike is not usually known for having flushed out characters,
right?
For being able to create an arc, stick with that arc, and kind of go all the way through it to the end. And this particular one, and again, he probably had help, and that's fine with me. But he actually flushed everything out. He gave some of the best character development I've ever seen in any Spike Lee project. And he did it so well that if they did not come out with another season and this is the way it ended, it would be perfect because you can pretty much take it from there. That's how well he did. He did it so well that they could never make any more. And actually, they would be good.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. No, boom. I got nothing else to add to that. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So it was good. So if you haven't had a chance, you should definitely check it out.
Have it. Season 2, yo.
The first episode or so, you should definitely go ahead and finish and check it out. But that's it, bro. That's what we got. I think we've given them some good content today.
It's been about an hour. It's been one of our long episodes. I had to move the outro music a couple times because it was feeling good. I've been feeling good. I'm drinking my drink, smoking my smoke. Chicago, Illinois just became like some 14th.
Recreational, did it go through?
Recreational went through. It's getting signed by the governor who ran on that shit. So it's like, man, just things is happening, man. You know, Trump is in office. That's fucked up. But like, you know what I mean? God is still alive and Jah is still working. And we just got to have faith, man. We got to have faith that faith rewards faith. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's all.
You know what? We need to leave it right there.
Yeah.
Chicago is giving us a purple lining. I like that. I like that. All right. Tell the people where they can find you. Tell the people what you do. All of that stuff before we roll.
Yeah, man. Come check me out as usual at Woke with Kids whenever we choose to do that shit. Me and Mel have been doing couples counseling, so we've been more focused on our relationship than content. So that's why you should listen to this podcast mostly. But when you do, check us out and all that kind of stuff. And also check out this podcast, this show on Netflix called Easy. It's really dope, and there's one episode about one black episode about this young street hustler in Chicago that you should, I can't remember which episode it is, but just watch them all. And it's just one episode. It's really dope. It's like an anthology of short stories about relationships and money and sex. And it's super dope. And it's all set in Chicago. And since Chicago just legalized weed, y'all should watch this shit on Netflix, and it's super dope, and y'all gonna enjoy it. Al, take us out.
Shout out to Chicago. I'm not going there, but shout out to Chicago. All right. Exactly. I don't want no problems.
All that shit. Vibe Beach is crazy now.
Everywhere, man. People losing their minds. All right. You can catch me on my Instagram, Algernon's October. You can see me on Twitter, Al Diddy. 1712 ALDIDDY 1712. You can catch our podcast on all the places where you can find podcasts: Spotify, iHeart, iTunes. I'm sorry. Well, Apple Music, wherever you can find podcasts. Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find it in terms of that. You can also check us out in terms of on our Facebook, our Instagram, and definitely leave us some reviews. Let us know how you're feeling. We see the spins are going up. Our last episode, woo, y'all showed up heavy on that one. Y'all just came through the door when we had our little Stephanie Mocha minutes on in terms of that. So we got to have her back on. We got to have Chana back on. We got to have some new guests back on, and we got to keep it moving. But this was episode 71. I had a good time with my brother. We appreciate y'all checking in. Peace out.